Hey, everybody. Welcome to personal credit versus business credit. This is one for the ages here because many people don't understand that we need both. It is not actually not one versus the other. And so I'm going to break all this down today in this very juicy webinar and give you all the goods and welcome you to this time that we're going to have today. So let's jump right on in, guys. My name is Terrence Michael Spencer. I'm the founder and president of Expandemonium. I'm a process-driven business coach and capital strategist with over 25 years of leadership experience spanning corporate and private education. I bring a practical results-driven approach to business growth and financial positioning. Currently, I serve as a presenter for SCORE, which is a nonprofit organization supported by the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, as well as our Southern California Edison's EDGE division. Okay, it's our EDGE program. And very happy to be presenting for both of those organizations. And they are organizations that equip entrepreneurs with the tools and insight needed to thrive, not just survive this business jungle here in 2026. Beyond my professional work, I am a devoted husband to my Egyptian queen, which is what I love to call her. And I also am a proud father of four sons. And more importantly, I believe that faith and purpose guide the journey, and often in unexpected but meaningful ways. So enough about me. Let's jump off my soapbox and let's move forward with why you guys are really here today. So what you're going to learn is which credit profile is the true gateway to business funding and why. You're also going to learn the controversies surrounding business credit that every entrepreneur needs to understand, okay, and what they should understand, should I say. The ideal time to begin building business credit. And here's a quick hint for you. It's probably not when you think. Okay. And last but certainly not least, number four, how personal credit and business credit complement one another. So, again, as I told you, it's not a versus, it's a complement to one another. Okay. Three gold nuggets before we get started. So, number one, the meeting after the meeting is the most important meeting. Guys, please understand me when I say that. It is not about this webinar. You will be educated during this webinar. You may be slightly entertained with this webinar. But again, it is simply information. Information by itself does nothing. Information combined with implementation, that means everything. So again, it's not about this meeting. It's the meeting after the meeting. That's the most important meeting. Number two, let me give you this one as well. I want you to think about releasing fear and embracing faith. And as you notice there, I put the dots, with the fear and also the faith, because there's always an acronym for any word that's out there, especially a word that is commonly felt or used, right? And one of them is fear. I know a lot of you know the acronym for fear, so go ahead and say it to yourself, say it out loud while you're watching this webinar, right? I'll say it with you on the count of three. One, two, three. False evidence appearing real. That's exactly what it is, guys. That's what fear is. Fear is typically something that hasn't even happened yet, but you're conjuring up the worst case scenario in your mind, right? And we do that a lot of times. We self sabotage our businesses, we self sabotage relationships. But enough with that, okay? Let's express faith instead. And I haven't heard anybody come up with an acronym for faith. So I decided to come up with one on my own. Okay. Here it is: freedom after inner thoughts halt. That is what I look at faith as. Faith is something that when you instill it and you think about it in that way, you have a lot of freedom, right? There's a lot of freedom when your inner thoughts, when they halt, right? When they stop, right? And you stop being negative and you just simply go with the flow. You walk in purpose, right? Everything is different at that time. Okay. And last but certainly not least is number three. This is something my dad used to always say to me. And so I still remember it and I still apply it even to this day. Okay. The dullest pencil is sharper than the sharpest mind. So write down or record everything. You'll only remember 10% of what I say, but you'll remember 100% of what is written and recorded. Keep that in mind. Okay. So again, I implore you, take a pencil out, take notes, or a pen, take notes, or do what I like to do, take out your phone and just press record and let whoever the presenter is talk. That way you can go back and rewind and fast forward. And maybe there's something that you need clarity on. You can go back and get clarity on it. And you'll also have that epiphany moment as well when you go back and hear a recording, right? You'll go, oh my gosh, I didn't even hear that. I can't believe I missed that part of the presentation. That will also happen. So there's a benefit to following all three of these guys. So hopefully these gold nuggets will be helpful for you. Here is what expandemonium is not. And I'm going to talk to you in the next slide about what expandemonium is. So here's who we are not. We are not a loan broker. Even though we are talking about finances, we're talking about capital, we're talking about funding, we are not a loan broker. Okay. We are not a credit repair company, although we talk about credit preparation. We talk about credit revival, right? We talk about credit being the start of your funding journey. With all that said, we're still not a credit repair company. Okay. We are not interested in having the most clients either. We're interested in producing the most prepared clients. I'm a process driven leader, not a transactional leader. Okay. We are not a company that promises guaranteed approvals. We don't do that. Well, there's companies out there that do guarantee approvals. We don't guarantee anything. Okay. Because there has to be more than one person involved in the process. And when there's more than one person involved in this process, there can't be guarantees. Okay. We are not interested in temporary funding. Temporary funding wins that create long-term problems. Definitely not interested in that. Okay. We are not built around shortcuts, loopholes, or lender manipulation. Okay. That's something you should look at in high regard. Okay. For us. Also, we are not another company selling trade lines as a magic solution. We don't do that either. We are not here to help clients appear fundable. We help them become fundable. And last but certainly not least, we are not transaction driven. We are transformation driven. Take a lot of pride in that. Okay. Here's what Expandemonium is. We're a business coaching and capital readiness company. We're also a strategic partner that prepares businesses for sustainable capital. We also are a company that builds businesses according to lender and banking standards, not assumptions. Okay? We don't deal with assumptions. We deal with what the facts are, and we put those facts and lay them bare before us, and we push you. Okay, this is a done with you service, not a done for you service. So what we do with you is we lay out the facts and we attack the facts is what we do. We get prepared to put you in a position where you can access the most amount of funding that you can for your business. We're a long-term business development company rather than a short-term funding solution. An educator that teaches business owners how lending institutions evaluate risk. We're also a relationship-driven company focused on transparency, integrity, and long-term success. And we are a complete business foundation solution encompassing structure, business credit, capital strategy, and asset protection. We also are a company that believes preparation creates opportunity. Some people like to say luck, right? Creates opportunity, right? Or should I say luck is the definition of luck, right? Is preparation meeting opportunity. For us, we're a company that believes preparation creates opportunity because we prepare you thoroughly to go out and get the access to funding that you need. Last but certainly not least, we're a company that values process over profit and education over hype. So remember, I told you what you're going to be learning. You're going to be learning which credit profile is the true gateway to business funding and why. So let's jump into it. Here's your answer. Personal credit. Personal credit is what you would call the true gateway. Why? Because the lender needs to first trust you before they can trust your business. Okay. Trusting you means that you have to be graded just like we are in school. You have to be graded on certain areas of your personal credit report that will explain the big picture behind where you are personally. Okay. And here's how that looks. Banks and lenders are looking for what is called credit worthiness. That's why you hear people say bankable or fundable, but it's really credit worthiness. Are you worthy? Right. And how do they determine that? They determine that by the 5 factors. So mastering the 5 factors shows a lender you can be trusted. Okay. Number 1, payment history. Now, I'm going to give the ideal when I'm talking about the 5 factors here, the ideal profile. The ideal profile Underpayment history is you have 100% of your payments on time. Okay. Number two, utilization. Under 30% for the personal side and under 10% for the business side. So, again, when you're looking at utilization is simply, for a very quick example for you. Let's say you have $1,000 limit on your credit card. If you spend $900 on that $1,000 limit, that means you have a $900 balance. What also means is that you have 90% utilization. If you spend $100 on that $1,000 credit card, that means you have a 10% utilization. Okay. Also, credit mix. Credit mix is active revolving and installment accounts. Okay. Installment, or should I say active revolving accounts, simply means a business line of credit or credit cards. It's when you pay something down to, let's say you have that $1,000 credit card and you have that $900 balance. If you paid off that $900 balance, you would have $1,000 to spend again, right? That's why it's called revolving. But you also have, again, installment loans, right? Or installment accounts. Those are fixed accounts, fixed payments that you make to pay down the balance all the way to zero. For instance, a car loan. A car loan is what you would call an installment account. If you buy a $20,000 car, you're going to typically, if you go through financing, you're going to be on a finance payment where you're going to pay that monthly note for 4, 5, or 6 years, right? And then once it's paid down, you cannot, again, roll it all the way up to $20,000 again. Once you've paid that car off, you have paid that car off. Okay. But that is what you would call the example of an installment account. So credit mix is, do you have both? Also, average account age. Average account age is 5+ years. Okay, that's the standard, is 5+ years. Now, if you have 4.5, four something, years of average account age, it's actually really good too. Okay, but really 5 is where you want to be at. 5+ years, it should be your average account age. Also, new credit and inquiries. No more than 3 inquiries per bureau. Okay, especially if you are trying to get business capital in the form of unsecured business credit cards. Lenders don't want to see more than 3 inquiries per bureau within a 12-month period. If they do see that, it looks like you are desperate for capital. It looks like you're garnering money too much. You look unstable. You look high risk. Lenders don't want to see that. Okay, so keep your inquiries, again, below 3 inquiries. Here's a side note for you. You want to have comparable credit and an organic profile. I will quickly explain what comparable credit is. Comparable credit is simply, if you are trying to get a 10, 15, $20,000 business credit card, banks are going to look at, well, do you have a 10, 15, $20,000 personal credit card? That is what you would call comparable credit. Okay. Now, if you have your largest limit on your personal credit card is $3,000, a bank is going to feel a little like, yeah, they're going to question giving you a 10, 15, or $20,000 credit card because you have not proven that you can responsibly handle a 10, 15, $20,000 personal credit card. So I would always say, strive to really get yourself a high limit personal credit card and pay on it organically. Okay. And you also keep that utilization down below 30% in order for you to qualify for either more personal credit if you're going to get business than below 10%. But you want to have, again, comparable credit to be able to show that you can handle a high limit business credit card as well. Also, you want to have an organic profile. What I mean by organic profile is very simple, guys. You don't want to have secondary accounts. Okay. You want to have primary accounts on your personal credit profile. Here's what I mean. There's a lot of clients that I work with or that I've worked with in the past that have come to me with a lot of puffed up items on their personal credit profile, meaning they have a lot of authorized account. Their authorized user accounts, on their profile, or they have a lot of credit builder accounts. Those are not primary accounts. Those are secondary accounts that puff up your personal profile to make it look like you have a healthy, robust personal credit profile, but that's just not true because it's filled with a lot of fluff, not substance. Substance is having primary accounts, a primary credit card that is 10, 15, 20,000, a primary personal loan, a primary business, or should I say personal line of credit, right? You want to have primary accounts. Even secured accounts are primary accounts. But again, you want to have those in place versus puffed up accounts because they don't really show the true nature of how you handle debt and how you've grown your debt responsibly and manage your debt responsibly. So again, banks want to see primary accounts, organic profiles. Next, this is the second one, which is the controversy surrounding business credit that every entrepreneur should understand. Okay, there is a controversy out there. It's those who think business credit is it is irrelevant to have, it is not important to have, why even have it to begin with? And then you have the other side of the coin. You have those who embrace business credit is definitely something that is a complement to personal credit and is a necessity to have, especially if you want to get higher limits, better terms, better rates. You want to get equipment financing, you want to get a car, which is fleet, you want to get fleet through your actual business credit. All those things are important, and you can get those through building out a business credit profile. So again, those are the two stances that people have when it comes to building out business credit. But here is the thing, it's really not a controversy because the latter is actually true. Okay. You can get higher limits on term loans, business lines of credit, business credit cards, if you have a robust business credit profile that is actively being built out. Okay. So let's dive into that. So here's one of the major controversies that you experience with business credit is that business credit is a long-term financial strategy. It's not short-term like personal credit. If you have a good personal credit score and you have a good personal profile, you can automatically you get access to high limit business funding. Okay. That is something that is known around the industry. Okay. But what is also not additionally understood within the industry is if you have a complementary business credit profile and score that is equivalent to what you have on the personal side, you can maximize the amount of funding that you get. Okay. So here's another thing, it takes about 6 to 12 months to thoroughly build out your business credit report. That's a good thing. That means it's not something that's microwavable. It's not quick. Okay. You actually have to intentionally build it out, just like you built out your personal credit. Once you build it out, though, you're going to be able to access great products that are going to complement what you're doing on the personal side. Also, over 80% of vendors and suppliers do not report payment experiences to the business credit bureaus. And at best, some of them report inconsistently. Oh my gosh, right? So, again, should I say at the least, they report inconsistently. So that's a big frustration for a lot of business owners who are trying to build out their business credit is, man, which vendors and suppliers do I choose? The ones that I want to choose, they may not report to the business credit bureaus, or the ones that do report that I may want, they don't report, right? So again, you have to really understand you have to understand which vendors and which suppliers are going to be that are going to align with your business and help your business actually grow on the business credit side, because they do have consistent reporting to the business credit bureaus, consistent reporting to Dun and Bradstreet, to Business Equifax, and Business Experian. You want to make sure that when you choose those, that you are able to actively use those accounts, because again, it's to your benefit to actively use these accounts. Okay. And on top of that, they will build out for you, again, a robustness that banks are looking for. And last but certainly not least, much confusion over the correct strategy. So there is a strategy with how you build out your business credit, which many entrepreneurs and business owners don't really understand the strategy very well. Again, you don't want. I've seen. Oh gosh, I've seen so much on YouTube. I've seen gurus or those who are coaching, on YouTube talk about, for the business credit side, you can apply for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 business credit vendor supplier accounts immediately in one day and get approved. And that's just not true, guys. It's not true. I'm sorry, it's not true. First and foremost, if you don't have your business structure put together properly, it is going to be impossible for you to get approved for business credit trade lines. Okay. You do have to have your business structure set up properly. And what I mean by your business structure set up properly, you do have to have the right business address. You do have to have the right business email, business phone number, your NAICS code, your DUNS number. You have to have congruency. You got to have everything in place. I call it the Big Ten. It's a presentation that I will do, that I have done already within the last couple of weeks. Okay. If you do not have that, send me an email and I'll send that presentation over to you. Okay. But you need to have that in place first. And then as you're applying for business credit, you want to space it out. Give yourself 2 or 3 applications at a time. Every month, do 2 or 3 applications. The next couple of months, do 2 or 3 applications. The next couple of months, do 2 or 3 applications. Why am I saying structure it like that? Because you want to give yourself the opportunity to create balance, to create organic spending. Remember, I'm going to show you something really quickly. Actually, it's not on the next slide, but I'll show you something. And that is, you will need to space out your trade lines because you want to actively, okay, you want to have active accounts that you can pay on every single month because they're going to come with net 30 or net 60 accounts, meaning that you have to have the balances paid in full within 30 days or 60 days. Okay. So, as I tell people, you are already paying Walmart, you're paying Staples, you're paying Lowe's, right, for all the products that you get from there, and you get no benefit for it besides the product itself. How about if you had a vendor account or a supplier account with any of those companies as well, and not specifically those companies, because out of the ones I just named, a couple of them do not even report to the business credit bureaus. But imagine if you had a vendor account with some of these companies and you go purchase it from your account. Not only do you benefit from getting a business credit score, you also build out your business credit profile. Okay. So remember that and take advantage of that at all costs. Number 3, when is the ideal time to begin building business credit? Here's the answer to that question, guys. Now. That's the answer to that question. Now, build business credit right now. This quote here is from Karen Lamb, and I love it. It says, "A year from now, you may wish you had started today." I don't know how many times I have said that about different areas of my life. If I would have started that day, and looking back, saying if I would have started that day, I wouldn't be in this position now. And that could be for any situation, guys, but especially when it comes to building business credit and even building personal credit. The best time to start is right now. Okay, right now, guys, get going. Okay, let me tell you something really quickly. Um, when you are talking about the ideal time of building business credit, I'm going to share a story with you about a client of mine, okay, that I had about, actually, I'm working with this client right now, but I actually worked with them about 4 months ago in their first round of funding. We're actually in their second round right now of funding and really helping them get access, by setting up their business structure and setting up some of their business credit right now. So they're actually working on and they're ready now to move on to their second round of funding. But during their first round, before they came to me, they actually went and tried to do it on their own, right? They weren't in the right position to get funding. But one of the areas that they told me was that they didn't have business credit build out, which is why they didn't qualify for certain term loans because they have a 7-figure business. So they were applying for very high limits when it came to business term loans and business lines of credit. And one of the things they said that the underwriter said to them was that your personal credit is great, but you don't have any business credit. So for all of you out there that are saying business credit is not important, tell that to the client that I'm working with right now. Tell him that business credit is not important. He will laugh because he will say that's exactly the reason why I didn't get qualified the first time around. And that was because I did not have my business structure properly and I didn't have my business credit built out in the way that lenders want to see it. Okay. How personal credit and business credit complement one another. Remember, I told you it's not a versus strategy, it's not versus at all. It's a complementary process. Okay. And that is to maximize your funding opportunities. So let's take a look at that. Here is number 1, they both build lender trust. When a lender sees that you are mastering the 5 factors of your personal credit, and they also see that you have 15 plus active trade lines that you are currently using to build your business, slowly but surely, okay, they start to go, huh, Okay. This company here is not only taking their personal side serious, but they're taking their business side serious. So we can trust both sides. If we want to give them any type of product, we can give them product based on the business or based on them personally. Number two, they actually talk, or should I say, they actually take about the same amount of time to build out. So that's one of the actual controversies, right, about building business credit is that, man, it takes too long. Well, actually, no, it takes the same amount of time to build your personal credit as it does your business credit. Okay. It's actually a little bit easier to build out your business credit because a lot of times when you're building out your personal credit, it's disputing negative items on your personal credit report, which it's hit and miss, right? It could be hard, right? Dealing with building out your personal credit, especially if you have negative items that you're trying to get deleted off your personal credit report. But on your business credit report, you're not battling most of the time. You're not battling negative items on your business credit report that you're trying to delete. Okay. What you are battling on your business credit reports is just seasoning. That's what you're battling. Seasoning, strategic seasoning. And what I mean by strategic seasoning is exactly what I explained to you before. Getting 2 to 3 trade lines, actively paying on those trade lines as you hit that net 30 amount in the next 30 days, you pay it off because you've purchased product or you've purchased service from the vendor account that you have, and you want to do that every 30 days. You want to be paying on those accounts, right? You want to strategically build it out. Okay, so again, there has to be patience involved. There's got to be an understanding of this is going to take some time. Okay, but the bottom line is it takes the same amount of time. Okay, don't ever get lost in the sauce and think otherwise. It is that it takes about the same amount of time to build. Number three, having one without the other limits your funding capacity. I just gave you a great example of that of my client who could not access the larger lines of credit, the larger term loans, even though they had a 7-figure revenue business. It was hard for them to get the amount that they were requesting because they didn't have a business credit profile built out. Go figure. Number four, eventually lenders begin evaluating the business on its own merits instead of relying solely on the owner's personal credit. That's exactly what I'm sure most of you are looking for, right? You want to have a lender that is going to stop asking for your social security number all the time and start paying attention to your employer and your employer identification number, right? And say, hey, I can give you credit, I can give you capital, I can give you funding based on your business, not even based on your personal credit. And in order to get there, guys, you have to really build it out. But I know that you can. Okay. Number five, last but certainly not least, the most successful business owners don't choose between personal credit and business credit. They don't choose. Why? Because they intentionally build both to maximize access to capital and position their businesses for sustainable growth. Follow the leader. You guys remember that back in the day, right? Follow the leader. Just follow the leader, guys. There are people who have gone before you that have experienced this route before you that have failed before you. Therefore, they're going to be able to give you also the successful steps to take in order to get there as well. One being myself. Congratulations. Okay, let's move forward. Stretch your vision, guys. I want you to stretch your vision. Many of you don't have your vision stretched. What would having access to 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 or more of business funding do for your business? What would it do? Here's some areas where you should be putting your business funding. Okay. It should be put into hiring maybe a mentor to scale operations, right? It should be put into marketing strategies to increase lead flow. It should be used for expansion geographically, for brand awareness. It should also be used for hiring staff, employees to buy back your time. And last but certainly not least, it could be used for bookkeeping and accounting services for financial growth, right? But if you look at this, which of the two are most important to focus on when it comes to deploying your capital? What are the two that are most important? Hint, M and M. There's two on here that begin with M. And which ones are they? Okay. I'm not going to play silly with you. Okay. Mentorship and marketing. Mentorship and marketing, guys, that is really where you want to put your capital first. Why? Because if you hire someone that has that has gone where you're trying to go, it is much easier to get there and much faster to get there. What it will take you 2 to 3 years to accomplish on your own, it will take you 6 months, maybe even a year to get to where you need to get to versus 2 to 3 years. I don't know about you, but I know that time is a resource we do not get back. I would rather someone show me how to get there versus me having to experience the bumps and the bruises and the failures to get there. Because not only is it going to cost you your time, 2 to 3 years, it's going to cost you a lot more money than what you would have spent just for hiring a mentor. Okay. And marketing. Marketing, I was watching a podcast by Wallow, for those of you who know Wallow, and he said there's there's two things that are the most important for me: God and marketing. I thought that was funny. And he said God and marketing because marketing takes you from a nobody to a somebody. Think about it in my own situation. I'm the new kid on the block, guys. I'm the business coach that's the new business coach on the block. And I love being the new kid on the block. Why? Because I get a chance to set the precedence right now of how I want the audience to perceive me, how I want my clients to perceive me, how I want my team to perceive me. Okay. And who I really am as a person is what I'm saying, right? Who I really am. I'm the new kid on the block. All right. So I'm going to offer the most value and probably at the most affordable cost as well, because I know that there's services right now. Even when I take a look around, I'm like, wow, people are charging 15, 20, $30,000 for mentorship. And I said, with everything that I have learned, with everything that I've accumulated in this industry, I can do it for a lot less. And that is really, really one of the appeals that most people have, especially with me coming on the scene the way that I am. Okay. Here's the problem: most people are concerned about the price without considering the cost. Ooh, it's a big one, right? Let's read that again. Most people are concerned about the price without considering the cost. Okay. So, what I mean by price and cost is simply this: you get so locked into the dollar sign of what something costs you that you're not realizing that the cost is much more than what you're initially seeing. Um, and I think about it like that for so many areas of my life, especially in business. In business, we reject certain offers because we perceive that it may be expensive, not realizing that we actually spend more than that in the next 2 to 3 years, and it costs us so much more. Excuse me. And it costs us so much more. Right. So, again, think about it in terms of what is my cost versus what is the price. So, how do you dominate an industry? I'm asking you that question really because I want you to understand why I am presenting this webinar for you today. And I plan on being a household name. So, Expandemonium, we will stretch, we will scale, we will build and expand globally. I know that we will. And so, I had to ask myself this question: how do I dominate this industry? Because so many people out there are promising different funding, amounts, or doing this or trying to guarantee that. And I just don't do that because I'm more of a process driven person. What I've come to realize is that there is so much more on the back end that needs to be corrected than what somebody can garner for you on the front end. So I really specialize in business coaching and obviously embracing the process. And so I thought about, how do you dominate an industry? How about dominating this industry? That means I'm going to offer the most value. I promise you, I'm going to offer you the most value. Number two, deliver exceptional customer service. One of the areas that I feel like is lacking right now, especially company wide, I would say, with so many companies here in the US, is that I don't see exceptional customer service anymore. I see a lot of people that are just rude. They deliver subpar, results. And again, our job is to deliver exceptional customer service. That's what our job is at Expandemonium. And also, last but certainly not least, combine all that together with an offer that's unbelievable in price, with options. Okay. When I say with options, meaning payment options, being able to pay it monthly. Okay. So let's break it down. Let's talk about what you get. Now, everything that I give you, okay, everything that I give you, it comes out really. I'm going to take you to the bottom right away. It comes out to a total revenue, should I say, a total retail value of all the services that I'm going to speak about. It's going to come to $10,997. Okay, that's not what I'm offering you. Promise you, I'm not offering you that. But I just want you to be able to see everything you get and what the retail value of it really is in the marketplace. So check it out. With us, you get credit preparation services. Credit preparation services done with you, not done for you, done with you. Okay. And that's about a $1,500 value. You're also going to get a complete business setup if you don't have one, or a strategic restructuring aligned with lender standards. Okay. So if you don't have a business, we'll help you structure it. If you do have a business, we'll help you restructure it. And by doing that, it's going to cost you retail value $1,500 as well. So right now you're up to $3,000. Also, an established and robust business credit profile complete with 15 plus business trade lines designed to build credibility. As we just spent a good amount of time talking about the importance of building business credit, we're going to be able to help do this with you, build out 15 plus trade lines. So that way you are actually a credible business and not a business who appears credible. Okay. That alone right there is about $2,000. Okay. You're up to 5,000 now. We will also give you exclusive group trainings packed with advanced funding tips, strategies, and hidden opportunities. Retail value for that is $997. Okay. And again, when I say retail value, $997 annually, typically people who do group trainings, they usually do them on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and they charge you a monthly fee. I took those fees all together by the year, and it's going to cost you about $997 on average. These are not premium also pricings, guys, just so you know. For any of these services, they can charge anywhere up to $1,500 to $5,000 depending upon the premium level of that service. Okay. Also, exceptional customer service and dedicated support Monday through Friday. That's 9 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And to do that, retail value is about $1,000. Also, you get exclusive access to one of the industry's most advanced capital platforms called Lendavo. And it's a $500 value just to be able to have access to that platform as well and take a look at what is offered for you. Also, something that I'm going to be able to give to any of my people here that is something that you would not be able to get for the price that I'm going to show you. You won't be able to get that a lot of times with just one-time price of this particular service. And that service is a revocable living trust setup for asset management, financial control, and legacy building for beneficiaries at time of passing. Okay. Um, People have heard of living trust. Many people don't understand living trust very well, but it is one of the most responsible and it is one of the best services that you can get, especially as a business owner. Okay. And just setting up a living trust, a revocable living trust with an attorney, it's going to cost you about $5,000+. Okay. We are going to be able to set you up on a revocable living trust, okay, combined with all the other value adds that you see in here right now for one set price, guys. And again, if you add all of these retail values up total, as I told you before, it comes out to $10,997. At Expandemonium, since we value process over profit, transformation over transaction, and education over hype, your price is nowhere near $10,997. But instead, you pay a one time fee of $3,997. Or if you feel like, hey, I'd rather do it monthly, you can do that as well for $497 per month. Okay. So, again, guys, when I say value and how to dominate an industry, what did I tell you? You offer the most value. That's what you do, right? You offer exceptional customer service and you do it all for an affordable price that is an unbelievable price with an option. As I told you before, I guarantee it. So, again, guys, take the next step. Here's the disclaimer. it will not remain at that price. I have to be able to give you that disclaimer. Why is that? This is not a sales pitch because of that. I'm telling you why. Because it's not sustainable. $3,997 is not sustainable, but I'm putting it at that price right now because you maybe ask yourself, well, why are you putting it at that price? Well, because I am the new kid on the block. I want to make sure that my brand gets out there. I want people to be able to recognize the value that they are getting based upon doing their own research and realizing that, man, that's a really, really inexpensive amount to get all of that value. Absolutely. And because of that, I want to be able to take the customers that I have and create success stories. So in order to do that, I have to make it affordable for you. So there you are, guys. That's why I cannot leave it at that price. But you will see it over time. You will see that price change because, again, I have to make sure that it's sustainable where I am making some money. Okay. Now I'm making a little bit off of that, but not very much because I strive to pay my team more than I pay myself and also satisfy my customers more than I satisfy myself. That is my value system. And so, with that being the case, my name is Terrence Michael Spencer. I'm giving you the opportunity. Remember, as I told you before, the meeting after the meeting is the most important meeting. So here's your opportunity right now. My name is Terrence Michael Spencer, founder and president of Expandemonium LLC. To book an appointment to get started, simply scan the QR code below. And on top of that, I'm going to add even some more value, even just for booking the consultation, even for booking the appointment, should I say, not consultation, but even just to book the appointment, I'm going to give you a complimentary free ebook. Okay. And that book is The Definitive Guide to Building Your Business Credit. So, guys, I want to tell you thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this. Make sure we actually meet after this meeting. And I wish you the best of luck and blessings to you. Take care. Have a great day to you. Bye bye.